So it's been a struggle trying to come up with new ideas to review for fragrances, especially because there's been no new releases coming out and because there's been a bunch of Black Friday sales and stuff like that going on, so I've had my mind elsewhere. So I kind of came up with an idea the other day. I told my wife that whenever I told her to pick out 5 fragrances from my collection. I told her to try to stay around the fall and winter, but I have a fall and winter shelf, but she doesn't really know what she's doing. So I told her to just pick out 5 fragrances, sit them on the table, and then I was going to be reviewing them blindly, without notes or anything. They could be any fragrance. And while they are my fragrances, so I do know what they smell like, I'm going to go through and let you guys know, just so it's a random refresh of different fragrances that I might not have mentioned on my channel. So without further ado, let's get it. Alright, my great smelling dudes, welcome back to my channel. This is Randy, aka Fragrance Dude, back with another fragrance video. If you could, just hit that little subscribe button below. I'd really greatly appreciate it. As well as comment, let me know what you think about these fragrances. And then follow me on Instagram and TikTok, all that good shit. So with that said, I had my wife pick out 5 fragrances because I thought that was just kind of a refreshing thing to do, because I don't want to have to be sitting here reading the notes, letting you guys know what I get from the fragrances. I'm going to be just going over different fragrances that I may not have picked out on this channel yet, or ones that I haven't mentioned in a while. And so looking at the ones that she did pick out here, I haven't mentioned 4 of them, I think, that much. I know one I mentioned back in the spring, because it is more of a spring and summer fragrance. But with that said, I'm just going to get straight into it here. It is December 2nd, I believe, when I post this video, so try to be safe out there, shopping, doing whatever, and Merry Christmas to you and your families as that comes around, and Happy Holidays. So starting out with the first one here, this is going to be a clone of a fragrance that I am obsessed with. So the actual fragrance it's cloning is Tobacco Vanille. This is by HARAMAIN. It is Amber Oud Tobacco Edition. I'm actually kind of surprised she picked this one because she hates it. So she likes Tobacco Vanille a lot. And the thing with this fragrance, the main notes that you do get into it are going to be the tobaccos, your spices, some cinnamon. I think there's cloves in here. There's a bit of wood, some vanilla, some dried fruits, stuff like that. So compared to Tobacco Vanille, you can already tell it does what it's doing very well. Tobacco Vanille is very well blended. You can tell that it's more of a luxurious fragrance, one of the higher end fragrances, and it has more of this sweetness to it. This one really focuses on that tobacco, like that strong, dry, pipe tobacco. And so that is definitely 100% in here. Then you also do get a lot of spices. I said to somebody the other day, I could spray on Tobacco Vanille and spray it 3 or 4 times and I'd be super happy. If you spray this on yourself once or twice, until you even wash the clothes, it's probably not going to come out because it's really super potent. So if you really like tobacco and you really like a little bit of vanilla in there, a little bit of like a spice, because it's mostly tobacco, a little bit of spice, a little bit of woods, a little bit of vanilla. As you get to the dry down, the tobacco really never fully dissipates. It becomes a little bit more of a creamy tobacco, but it's that tobacco. Overall, I still do kind of like the fragrance. I use it more as an air freshener, to be honest with you. I like to spray it up in my garage, like you guys know, my man cave. If you're looking for a true clone of Tobacco Vanille, this isn't really going to get you it. But with that said, I thought it did when I first got it. And I think whenever I reviewed it back in the day, I even said to myself, yeah, that's actually pretty decent. But it's once you spray it on after a few wears, you can tell it's not Tobacco Vanille. It's trying to do it. It's just too much spice and tobacco and not enough of the sweetness and the high-end class. So with that said, that is HARAMAIN's Amber Oud Tobacco Edition. Don't get me wrong, it is a really nice tobacco fragrance. If you're looking for a cheap tobacco fragrance that is a nice alternative to Tobacco Vanille, it will do it, and it's beast mode. So definitely try it out. I wear it every once in a while. It's just for me, since I have a 3.4 ounce Tobacco Vanille on the way and I owned it previously, I would rather wear that than this, in my opinion, or Parfums de Marly Harad. So I don't even pull that out of my collection anymore. Moving on to the next one. This is one I have never reviewed on my channel yet. I think I did it on a live stream once for a second, but I'm not a huge fan of the line itself. It is by Versace. It's Versace Eros Flame. If there was one that I loved, it's this one of the three. I like the change in pace with this one. While it still does have that Eros DNA in there, that powdery tonka bean vanilla mixture, some lavender, some freshness. It has this mandarin orange or blood orange, whatever it is, mandarin orange, into the entirety of the fragrance. So you take that powdery vanilla and you add that nice, like a crisp mandarin orange, and a little bit more of like a citrus freshness in the opening. I believe there's some kind of lemon in there as well. And then you have that little spiciness that the Versace Eros has. I believe there's some kind of lavender and stuff like that in here. Geranium. This one has geranium. It's geranium, mandarin orange, lemon, sandalwood, vanilla, tonka bean. That's what I remember, at least. Sorry, if I keep doing that in my videos lately, I have a freaking cold. I don't know if I have COVID or what it is, but... so if I had to wear one, it would be this. Still, the performance isn't crazy. You still get about 5 to 6 hours on it. It's not a crazy projector. Outside of the first hour, which you get above average, then it comes down to be more of a closer to the skin scent. Versace Eros Flame, while I like it better than the original, it still doesn't wow me to the point where I'm like, I need to wear that all the time. It still is a nice fragrance. If you like orange, if you like a little bit of a brighter take on the original Eros, then you can get this. It's more of, it has a fall and winter feel to it, but you can still wear it into the spring as well, or maybe summer nights if you live somewhere where I live. Overall, it just has that slight aromatic freshness with that mandarin orange. As you get to the dry down, you get more of that powdery tonka bean, that vanilla, and that creamy sandalwood coming in, mixing all together with that mandarin orange as the orange is dissipating. It is quite a nice fragrance. Again, just compared to other fragrances I have in my collection, I don't pull it as often, but it is still really nice. And you can find it at TJ Maxx in their pack for about $38, $40. Body wash, all that with this. That's where I got mine. So, yeah. Going into the third one here. This is one that I think I mentioned it the second day of my channel. And surprisingly, I still wear it. So this is by Paco Rabanne. It's the original 1 million. So, I'm going to spray it on my hand. So this is, a lot of people say it's worn out. A lot of people wear it, and I don't agree. Maybe if you're in Europe or something where they wear it all the time and everybody wears it. But where I live, I haven't really smelled this one that much, and I think it's a really nice fragrance. I'm actually going to wear it as my scent of the day. Yes, I'm wearing Paco Rabanne's 1 million Eau de Toilette as my scent of the day. So, this one is cinnamon spices, patchouli. There's some leather, there's sweetness. It's warm, it's spicy. It's pretty much one of those really nice sweet fragrances that's not overly sweet. It has a little bit of everything going on in it. It's a very nice, sweet, little bit rich, warm, slightly leathery fragrance. Has a little bit of rose, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but it mostly focuses on like an ambery, resinous sweetness with this almost like vanilla feeling to it, mixed with some of that cinnamon and spices and a little bit of like a tiny bit of rose and leather, and then you get a little bit of woods in the dry down as well. The 1 million to me is still a really nice pickup for a random pull, similar to something like Coach for Men. You can wear it for about 3-4 hours, but then it's gone. It's not the performance beast by any mean. The only one in the line that really is the Elixir. The 1 million original is definitely still one I think you should have in your collection if you can find it for the right price, which on discounters it is going for a decent price, or I think around like $40 or $50 for this size. I would definitely pick it up. While the Prive and Lucky are still my favorites in the line, I still would wear this. Again, I don't smell it enough to remember that I need to wear it, but I definitely need to wear it, and I'm spraying it a bunch. It's like 10 sprays, so I don't give a fuck. 1 million is actually a really nice fragrance. I gotta give it to it. It's one of the ones that started one of the biggest lines out there, one of the most mass appealing lines out there. they're very stupid when it comes to which fragrances they take out of the line and put into the line. But overall, it definitely is in the top 3 of the line for me, personally. So that's the original 1 million. Going into the 4th one, this is one that she must have picked off the other shelf, not my fall and winter shelf, but I don't really care because it's amazing, and I haven't mentioned it since spring when I was mentioning it all the time. Rochas L'HOMME. So this is one of your juniper and ambroxan blue sweet fragrances. Quite nice. It's not heavy projector. It's not beast mode. It's one of those ones that you can spray. We were talking with one of my subs the other day. You can spray it 80 times and you're not going to offend anybody. So you get this like cardamom blood orange mixture underneath a nice juniper and ambroxan mixture. It's bright, it's a little bit fizzy, and then you work your way to the dry down. You get some aromatic feeling in there, as well as a little bit of woods, and then that ambroxan in the base as well. I do believe you do get some oak moss there in the base, if I can remember correctly. Overall, it's a sweet blue fragrance that you can get for $20. It matches up to the $100 blue fragrances, so if you haven't tried this, I definitely recommend picking it up. I'm not talking about the aromatic touch. The aromatic touch, to me, is only worth it if you're also getting it for that price, but the original Rochas L'HOMME is definitely one you need to have in your collection if you don't already. It's a blue masterpiece for the price, absolutely. So that's Rochas L'HOMME. You get about 6 hours out of it. Nothing crazy, but it's also, after the first 2 hours, it's more of a skin scent. Going into the last one here, I don't think I've reviewed this on my channel yet at all. I was waiting to do the entire line once I got the L'Intense back because I ran out of my bottle of L'Intense. But this is, by Guerlain, is L'HOMME EDP Eau de Parfum. This is one that's the most loved or hated from the line. So my favorite personally is Extreme, and then this one, and then L'Intense. But this one and the L'Intense are very close to each other. Extreme is just miles above. This one is going to be, so the original DNA for this is that powdery almond and a little bit of like this aromatic feel, but they're more fall and winter fragrances. They're more of the eclectic, classier type fragrances. That, but this one adds in this unisex note cherry, and then you also do get a little bit more of this powderiness, powdery quality to it. And some leather, I believe, is in here, and some incense. So, actually, I don't think there's incense in here. I think it's just the cherry, the almond, the tonka. There's some leather. Overall, this one, I really like it. When I first got it, I can see what people were saying. So there's a lot of people in my subscribers that don't like this fragrance. They think that the cherry is just too overwhelmingly unisex. It's not one that they can see wearing in this situation or that situation. And while I agreed with them, as I continuously smelled it and got to love it, I can still say it's probably at around an 8 for me. It's not quite up there with the Extreme that is at an 8.5 or a 9. This one still has that powdery quality. The cherry does come off unisex. Sometimes it can be unisex leaning feminine. I don't think that it's worth the super hype that Chaos gave it. But with that said, it is a decent fragrance. If you like the note of cherry, you like powdery fragrances, you like a little bit of tonka bean, a little bit of this nutty almond in it, and then you add in that cherry. It does have good longevity. It has about 8 hours here, as well as about 2 to 3 hours of projection, a little bit above moderate, and then it becomes, and you get wafts of it for about 4 to 5 hours, and then it becomes a skin scent. Overall, L'HOMME EDP Eau de Parfum, again, if you like those unisex, powdery, nutty, cherry fragrances, which are kind of few and far between, it's not like Lost Cherry. It's not like that. The cherry in this is a little deeper, a little bit darker, a little bit richer, and then again, that powdery aspect to it really doesn't make it seem like Lost Cherry. So if you're looking at this, cherry, Lost Cherry, it's not like that. It does something its own way, and you see what I'm talking about as soon as you get it. And then you get a little bit of this woods and leather in the dry down as well. So that is L'HOMME EDP Eau de Parfum. She actually did good at picking these. Maybe I should do that more often. Let me know in the comments if you like this, if you like just random fragrances being picked out by my wife where I don't go on Fragrantica or anything and find any of the notes just so I have them. I mean, I'm obviously still giving you my honest opinions on everything, but I kind of like this because I didn't know what I was going to be reviewing. But with that said, yeah, guys, just like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you thought about these fragrances, and I'll be back with my World Cup of fragrances starting tomorrow. Peace out!